And you can't hate that view with a beautiful rainbow right there. God's promise to never flood the earth again. I love it. Alrighty, we have these strips table sawed down, cut to length, sanded yesterday, and then I think it started to rain, and then I had to get to the movies and dinner, so they're in a bare state right now. These look absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give them a slight dusting before I do. Probably 2 coats of, once again, in the polyacrylic clear satin finish. 2 coats. The rain just stopped about an hour ago. It was downpouring. Oh, as my... Oh, that's funny. My front yard umbrella blew over the top of the house and it's in the backyard right now. That's funny. Hopefully it didn't crack or break. Anyway, so what I was trying to get at is it's dry now and it should be okay to get out there on my table. Put a couple coats on. We got a little wind whipping through the house here. It's a beautiful evening, but I do want to show you we have started on the slats. Now remember, I'm going all the way up to the ceiling as well. So you're going to see a seam, obviously. And so I was kind of playing around with the idea of not even putting a handle on it. And then you just go up to it and you would grab it right here. But in theory, it's not very thick. You might pull something or you might just dirty it up with your, grubby hands. So again, we're going to be putting on this beautiful champagne gold handle, and I think I'm going to put it probably right in the middle instead of on top of the wood here. So we'll go ahead and drill some holes, find a good placement, and we'll put it right there. Also, not putting it on top of the wood will give me more leverage just in case the door does get knocked the hinges that way. It's not going to bang into the wall. There's plenty of clearance, but just in case, when I say plenty of clearance, 3/4 of an inch or something like that. If you are wondering, in this application, especially for something this light and thin, I'm using a pin nailer. A pin nailer is really good for finish work. You need a brad nailer for your trim for sure. I'm using 2-inch brad nails for that, but for this, I'm using very tiny, I believe they're 1 inch, and there's actually arrows on the nails because of how tiny this thing is. This is a cool little pin nailer gun, air compressed power. Already had it on hand, so I wasn't concerned about a battery powered one. Here, I believe these are Cinco, I believe you pronounce them, inch, and these are 23 gauge. There's 2,500 pin nails. And here's Berea. So anyway, so far it's looking absolutely fantastic. We're going to put that handle on for easy accessibility. And then before I get too far, I need to cut these down. And so we're all lined up, good to go. Okay, some of the ripped down pieces actually broke because they are thinner. They're not, super thin. That's 1/4 of an inch. And at the knots on the table saw, it just, isn't thick enough on those knots. And so what happens is once I push it through the table saw, then it just kind of like cracked off. But instead of scrapping it, because the pin nails, oops, I did that one the wrong side, I think. Hold on. Oh, drag. Hold on. Oh, I did. Darn it. Unless, let me see here. Yeah, it's supposed to go like that. Darn it. I need to spray this one. I had it the opposite side when I put it on the table to spray. Unless that chunk, does that chunk go there? So I could do it this way if I really wanted to and have a little bit of a gap right here, or think it was supposed to go that way. So it doesn't really matter, it's just kind of a knot and it kind of gives it a little bit of a texture, but don't be scared, don't redo it. I mean, you can if you want to. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. We're going to be right back to the build, but I do want to thank today's sponsor, which is Manscaped. Obviously, they're most known for their Lawnmower 4.0 Pro, 3.0 Plus, and Manscaped's 5.0 Ultra trimmers, as well as their boxers. And of course, their beard hedger as well, which I use all the time, especially clean myself up before church or before going out for a dinner, or when I'm just looking scruffy. But I also do want to show you their newest high-end razor. This is the Plow 2.0. I do use the Plow 1.0 all the time as well in the shower, but they have just come out with the Plow 2.0. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is not your average razor. This is a high-end barbershop type of a straight razor. Beautiful. So it's a little hard to see on camera, but that's a nice deep gunmetal gray. Their 1.0 was black, and this is absolutely stunning. They also give you 3 replaceable blades as well in the box. Now you will need to put one of those blades on it. It does not come with one already on it. And to unscrew it, simply just unscrew the handle there, prop it up in the 2-piece, lay your razor down right here. And let me just show you what the blades look like here. You just put that right there, insert your top piece, and then go ahead and screw back on your handle here. Now you're ready to shave. And that's also if you need to clean it a little bit more deeper and then screw that back on like this here. A little logo right on top, and the 1.0 performs excellently, and I'm expecting big things from the 2.0. So again, if you decide to go with one of their accessories like the Plow 2.0, the Beard Hedger, their boxers, the Lawnmower 3.0, 4.0, or 5.0, top link in the description box below once again. Use that for 20% off and free shipping. Grab yourself some boxers while you're at it. I'm wearing a pair right now. Love them. Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Top link in the description box below again. Let's get back to the build. But let's go ahead and look at a couple pieces. Like here's another little knot here that adds a little bit of texture to it. This was cracked in half. As you can see, that little line cracked right there. I just pin nailed right above it and below it. And I think the last 4 pieces are broken ones, or 3 pieces. This one is right here on this knot. Some of the knots, these ones were totally fine. And then my little knots up there, I'm lining it up. It's taking a little bit of time to line it up. I'll go ahead and paint that area up there as well white. But it's looking absolutely fantastic. Let's see here. I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We might need to rip a few more, because I think I'm going to go all the way to this corner here. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if the depth is going to affect the look of it. We'll see. Definitely going to the edge of the door. And even if I went into the corner, it's not going to interfere with the European hinges. This is the polyacrylic. I think I like the polyurethane better than the polyacrylic. This does give it a more natural, I guess you can say, look to it, where it just literally just darkened it up just a tiny bit. Let me go ahead and show you again that one piece that I goofed on. So this is the polyacrylic right here, and this is sanded down, but still a little rough in pieces. Actually, that's why. Okay, so I actually sanded, I sanded this part. That's why this looks a little bit rough. So yeah, I goofed on that one for sure. So this is the sanded down texture to it. Did I goof on quite a few of these? No, that's not sanded. That's a little sanded there. Let me see here. Oh man, I think I goofed on quite a bit of these. I think I accidentally sprayed the polyacrylic on the non-sanded side. I mean, it's totally fine. A smoother edge would be a little bit nicer. Maybe that's why it didn't turn out as nice as the other ones. It just looks a little bit more natural, a little bit more rough, and that's probably why. But let me show you the bathroom polyacrylic. Now these are totally natural. I really like the look of this, but this is, again, more expensive wood. I use brad nails, but that is rough right there. And a little bit of wood filler. When you get super close, you can see the wood filler, but when you pull back, you cannot see the wood filler unless you go all the way up and take a little closer look. Because those were brad nails, and sorry, my bed's not made. Dog was on it earlier and just got lazy. So heading into the bathroom here, see how this has a little bit more of a shimmer to it here? That's the polyurethane, and it still, you know, is natural looking. Maybe it's just the lighting, I don't know. But yeah, I think this is also clear satin, but I think maybe I did 3 coats on that. That's why there's a little bit more of a shimmer. I prefer this, but this does look really nice as well. I mean, no one's going to tell. You're going to forget about it. But, you know, in the perfect world, I would go back and probably do 3 coats of polyurethane clear matte on these and maybe sand them down to 220 or at least 150. These are 100 grit sandpaper sanded down. I think 100 or 120. It looks really good, but you know, I mean, if you're really picky about it. But I don't think I showed it. So this is the natural side sanded. This is the polyacrylic. So you see it just tans it up a little bit right there. And what's nice about this, though, is that when I cut this, there was actually, I think, just some bleeding of, I don't know if that's what you call it, but of the drying out process. This kind of like pinkish tint, also from probably the table saw blade, especially like right here. I mean, those can be sanded off, but what this does is just gives you a nice fresh look, and I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and finish it up. Take a look at that. Looking absolutely fantastic. I got my upper light hooked back up again. Beautiful ceiling, beautiful smooth texture to it as we look at the hidden door. Now, obviously there's a little crease right there. We are going to be having the shelving for the mudroom right here as well. It's going to blend in really, really beautifully. As we can see, we went all the way to the bottom, room for our flooring underneath, and then we went over to the edge there. Absolutely fantastic. Then you look this way, you're like, boom, over to the bedroom. That has LED lights in the middle. This does not, obviously. And our little pull handle here. Hide all our goodies back here. I'm going to touch up probably this and this with white paint just to blend that in a little bit better. And then just probably leave this bare, maybe paint it white, who knows, but it's going to be shut most of the time, and a little bit of raw wood. I kind of like that. And ladies and gentlemen, wham! Nice, smooth, soft, closing, custom wood, slat wall wood. So I still have wood remaining, but I used a 2x4 and a 2x6 for this project. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 strips ripped down 1.25 inch thick. This direction, not exactly sure, to be honest with you. 84 inches, and that's probably 6 inches up top lining up. Again, I like all the natural knots in the wood. Looks absolutely stunning with those knots. Can't see any pinholes from the pin nailer. That's what I really, really like about that pin nailer, especially with lightweight material. And this is going to look absolutely stunning with my flooring, my custom mudroom cabinets, which is still to come. I need to put another coat of paint on this, and then we're probably going to be doing some more wood accent over the top of this utility box to hide that. My new paint sprayer is supposed to arrive today, but clean and fresh, clean and fresh. And oh boy, it's going to look absolutely stunning when the kitchen's all done. And then you got the mud room, and then you come around right here and you're like, man, what's that? Is that custom? And then it blends right in with the bedroom. As you move this way, you see the bedroom, and then you come back this way. But this wall right here is actually really nice for privacy in the master bedroom right here. So this is going to be my coffee bar area here. So definitely stay tuned for the full remodel video. We're just getting started, and then you have to get way over here to get a straight shot over to the master bedroom. So this little coffee bar wall right here, which the pantry is behind this wall right here, that's after the mudroom. We're going to go ahead and wrap around this way and start doing the cabinetry here, pantry, and then working the kitchen. And then back to this lovely hair. No, I was wearing a hat outside. It's a little warm today. Into the living room space. Bum, bum, bum. All right, for the mudroom cabinets, I got the Home Depot ready-made. They say it's in stock, but I had to order them online. They didn't have them at my store particularly. But I got the shaker, and these particular shaker ones, just a beautiful little trim to them here. Look like they're in great condition. So these cabinets do get mixed reviews on Home Depot's website. The reason why is because sometimes they do come damaged. I'm assessing the boxes and everything looks good, but I have seen some reviews on Home Depot's website where there's like chips, or you open it up and one of the shelves has a little nick in it. And so if that does happen to you, you can obviously return them. What I've done with a couple other things from Home Depot and Lowe's is you just ask for a discount if you did have a few little scuffs in it. And again, if you know how to fix it with a little bit of spackle, little touch-up paint, not that big of a deal, but when you do order something, you want it to come brand new. Anyway, the shaker pattern on these is absolutely stunning. They're pre-made. The only thing I am going to upgrade is soft closing on all of them. Let's go ahead and get this out. This is 24 inches long, 30 inches wide, 12 inches deep. The lower ones, so I got two of these, and then the lower one is going to be for my bench, but I'm going to put some nice stands on them. I'm thinking about doing that, or mounting it into the wall with some legs, or floating with some gold legs so it looks really nice. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this up, and let's go ahead and show you what we got in here. They put it right on top. Okay, good to know. So when it comes, they just slip it in right here. So you, I believe you only get one shelf for the 24 incher. That one, I don't believe you get one. And the one that's going to be lower is 30 inches wide, 15 inches high, and 12 inches deep. You get your little mounting things here, just like IKEA furniture. Now, something to keep in mind is obviously this is particle board, and this is like, the same type of, the doors are very nice. I think the doors are solid wood, but everything else, well, besides, I think just maybe the shell of it, but I mean, this looks like that's solid wood. So I think the only thing that's particle board is the edges, but just kind of something to keep in mind here is that these, I love both the big box stores, Lowe's and Home Depot, personally where I am in Colorado. I love Lowe's. I love you guys, but your ready-made cabinets like Hampton Bay, Lowe's ready-made cabinets are absolute rubbish. They're a lot less quality than the Hampton Bay ready-made cabinets from Home Depot. So if you're looking for ready-made cabinets, which I'm going to do my full kitchen with these because it's the same thing as like an IKEA kitchen, I highly recommend Hampton Bay. And again, the only thing you're going to get different with custom made cabinets is it's going to be solid plywood, a little bit more higher end. If you're looking for a budget kitchen that's not going to break the bank, and again, I'm going to be putting some soft closes on this. These are kind of interesting soft closes though. These are different than the ones that I particularly have, but it shouldn't be too hard to find these on Amazon. So I'll replace these with soft closing like I have on that door there. Those ones on there are the exact matching IKEA ones, but again, these ones have this little kind of a different little wrap around right here where the IKEA ones press right up against this right here. And you can't use those ones because if you did, you'd have to pull this drawer all the way flush with this. And then when you close it, this already has a little hangover, which would be significantly more. So if you don't care about soft closing, I mean, the hinges are really nice on this one as well. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put up these right now. Again, 60 inches, and I've already done my measurements. They're going to go right up here. We're going to start it right past this area here so I can get some nice little trim over these drywall screws here. So we'll probably start it right about here somewhere, ballpark, maybe just a hair over. 60 inches across. We're going to make sure we have plenty of room, clearance room for the door here. And I still need to put on my trim edge as well for that. And then of course the bottom ones will match up exactly down below, and I'll put a butcher's block on top of that so you could sit down, have your organization, and then of course we'll do a little accent wall here to hide that up. We've already talked about that. So anyway, wanted to give you a heads up about the cabinets. And so my videos are not only how to do stuff or showing you what I've done, but also giving you tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Definitely watch the channel, watch the videos. I talk about prices, I talk about little hacks here and there, big box stores, etc. And here's also one more tip for you here. So it's going to require a little bit of spackle after you're finished, but let's say it's a little too heavy for you and you don't have a helper. Well, what you do is you get your precise line, your measurement, and then what you do is you, just like I did in the bathroom tiling video, sorry, still have not made my bed. It's the same day. It just depends on when you're watching this. Brie is right here, by the way. Why haven't I made my bed? That's a very important task of the day. So you put a little strip of wood right here. And then what you do is you get up on your ladder and you set it on the ledge while you're drilling and screwing into the studs or using toggle bolts if you're not hitting studs. That way, that takes a lot of pressure off of your arms where you're trying to pre-drill, screw it in, etc. But the problem about that, though, is what I would do is I would just use like a brad nail, a couple brad nails, but then you will have to spackle it and dab paint it. So it's a little catch-22. These are not very heavy. I'm going to have the ceiling to kind of rest it up against the ceiling to take kind of most of the weight. Another option you could do is you could put your ladder right up against the wall, put boxes, books up on top of the ladder, set the cabinet on top of the books, and then screw it in. I might do that if I find myself a little bit heavy, but again, it's not too heavy. It's just mostly awkward. I still have some marks on my floor of where my studs are, so I'm going to go ahead and extend those marks. So I will try my best to hit a stud. I do have the upper plate up here as well, so I'll try to tack one in there and then probably put per cabinet at least two and try to get both in studs. If I can't, I'll do one into a stud and then one toggle bolt, but I'll try my best for studs. Now with a cabinet of this size, I particularly won't really want to use something too large, but you need something that's going to hold the weight. You don't want to like just tack it up with some chintzy little screw. So I need to go ahead and find the hardware actually I will be using. And if you are wondering, this does not come with any hardware. It does come with some directions about the hinges. And again, the little shelf thing right there. All right, so if you're by yourself, you got to rig it up, but try to get a helper. Let's go ahead and show you what I got here. Now this little pole works out really well. I squared up my cabinets with it, locks into place. Now, let me show you. So out of 4 screws, I only hit 1 stud, even though I thought I was on the studs. And so toggle bolts will be your friend. Toggle bolts are for hollowed out areas like drywall. And these might be a little overkill for these particular cabinets. These are 3 inches. I'm going through a sheet of drywall, and this is what I used for my old IKEA cabinets that were actually much heavier than these, longer I should say. So I got 1 in the right, 1 in the left, not completely left, and then I got a toggle bolt right there in the center. And so we're looking fantastic. I actually spray painted that toggle bolt black, and I believe these particular toggle bolts I think can handle 100 pounds, 120, don't quote me on that one. Again, these are 3/16 inch. You will have to drill a large hole. You'll have to drill a 5/8 inch hole, which is pretty big, as you can see here. But again, if you have a nice washer in there like that, you know, no harm, no foul. So another issue I had, because I'm not completely square because of my ceiling, I am level. So I checked the levelness. I am level. Everything is nice and tight right here. But as we go up, you'll notice the seam gets a little larger. Some of you might not care about that. I care about that. So I'm going to get some trim caulking and I'll go ahead and fill in that middle seam. I'm talking about this right here. We'll fill that in, and then that's going to look really flush. Now, another thing I was thinking about, it's not bad under here. You do see some of the particle board right here. So I'll probably either paint that or get some edge band for this. Maybe paint that right there as well. Haven't got quite that far yet. Or the other thing, this is all veneer right here. Or the next thing you could do is you could do some sort of worktop, like IKEA worktop or a butcher's block on the bottom. That's what I'm going to be doing on the top of the bottom one. So that's just a little heads up for you there if you do get the Hampton Bay. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to paint this white right here. And no harm, no foul. Now, I like the quality, but again, this is not like super high end. So do watch your corners. Don't bang them up against ladders or anything like that, or you will get some little chips in them that you'll have to fix. I banged it up against the ladder one go around, and you can see the gap a little bit more. Well, that gap has to be there in the back because it comes together right here, as we can see. And then it has this little gap all the way through the back here. I'm not sure why they make them like that instead of completely flush, so you have a little opening right there. But to each their own. But I hit the ladder right there, kind of pulled up a corner. So just be careful. As you can see right there on that side, it's very thin laminate. But like I said, boxes, bookses, shims, they're going to be your friend to level it out and get it done. Now I need to spray paint the second toggle bolt. And if you are wondering, yes, my light fixture is too big. So unfortunately, with the left door and the right door of that, not that big of a deal. I'm going to put some nice handles on these anyway. And then again, I want anti-slams, because that happens right there. So this one opens up. This one opens up right here. You just grab what you need, because that would have to be a pretty small light or a pot light. And I kind of like this one personally, so I'll deal with that. Not that big of a deal. At least both those sides and this side open up completely. I'll put some champagne gold handles on it, like I did the secret door. This hinge has to be worked a little bit to match up precisely. That was shipped not very level on these doors there. Real simple fix for that one. But again, as you can see, not that big of a deal, but anti-slams would be pretty cool. You know what time it is after a good hard day of work? It's Dirty Bi-Weekly Thursday. Stinks and I are heading over to Domino's for some deep dish. Huh, Stinks? Huh, Stinks? Good girl. I keep saying it, but that is a slice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have installed my first drawer set of soft closing hinges, and it's definitely a nice upgrade with soft closing hinges. Let me show you what happens when you don't have soft closes. Makes a bang, wake up the whole entire family, and this one, you slam it shut. I mean, I'm not sure who's gonna actually throw it like that, but you sure can. Most people are just gonna kind of softly close it there. Beautiful. I did make the mistake. Unfortunately, I didn't let the polyacrylic fully cure. Unfortunately, a few little scuffs that can come out. This was already there, but I'm talking about like right here, and that was from the kettlebell. Shouldn't be that big of an issue. I'll buff that out, but I should have let the polyacrylic cure for a few more hours before setting something on top. Again, just gluing down, and it's probably, the glue is probably completely fine, but I'll take all of that off. Tomorrow, I am working on my slats, which are out there drying after I've already cut them down on the table saw. Again, same method applies. I'm going a little bit thicker than this. Same width, but a little thicker in thickness, or depth, I guess you could say. And what we will be doing is we'll probably be lining it up perfect with this, going down, and then it's going to be a few interesting cuts, because obviously if you do need to remove the whole entire box, you need to do a cut here, then drop it down, cut here, and then I'm going to have to use like liquid nails on top of this. And so this is your opening here. And it's not that bad, especially with it painted white, but it is kind of an eyesore if you were to do the wood over here. And not to mention, I think that's just too much wood in that corner. So this kind of gives it a nice little motif, and we'll make it work. We'll go ahead and again, use a little strip of liquid nails and then use some painter's tape to go over the top of them, sticking in the middle, going across, and of course, pin nailing in where I can pin nail, but across the top of the box, we're gonna have to get a little bit interesting. So 1 cut, 2 cut, 3 cut, 4 cut. Yeah, it's gonna be a little interesting, a little time consuming, but we'll make it work. Well, don't know if it's touched down or not, but that is a tornado funnel for sure. That is gnarly. Look at the clouds right here, but that's a full-blown tornado funnel. And it looks like it might be coming this direction.